Greetings, CBC, and welcome to this week's Sunday warm-up. Looking forward to being back with you this Sunday morning. I appreciate what Tom shared this last week. Appreciate his message on John 7:37 to 39 this past week. For this week, we're going to finish up John chapter 7, and we'll be looking at verses 40 to 53. So John 7:40 to 53. The first 9 verses, roughly, we're seeing a very familiar theme here, so I'm going to go pretty quickly through that this week. I don't want to spend a lot of time on it because we've talked a lot about it. But once again, we see more divisions, we see fighting and kind of dissension and thoughts about who Jesus is. Very common themes that we've seen then. It's common themes we continue to see now. We're going to see an interesting little comment that's made by the religious leaders that I do want to make note of there. So look for that. But I think the challenge that I want to offer for us this week, and then certainly Sunday as a reminder, is to examine the teaching for ourselves. We're not just listen to what some religious leader said. We don't want to listen to it just because the pastor said it. And I'm telling you here, don't listen to it just because your pastor said. I say it all the time. Don't just take my word for it, but be like the Bereans. Acts 17, verse 11. That's come up actually the last few weeks here in our Thursday morning Bible study. We need to examine the scriptures daily, test these things to see if what it is that we're hearing is true. As we get to the real thrust for this week, in verse 50, we see Nicodemus kind of popping up again. Remember him? Take a look at John 3, verses 1 to 21 as a reminder. Also, jump ahead, John 19, verse 39. We see Nicodemus coming up again. So these 3 little instances in the Gospel of John where we see Nicodemus here, doesn't seem again to be very boldly. There's a reminder through John that he came to Jesus at night. So maybe he's timid, maybe not sure, he's trying to figure some stuff out. He doesn't boldly come in and say, hey, you guys fighting and dividing, you're wrong. He just reminds them that if you're the religious leaders, then we should do what the law tells us to do. And the law tells us to give this person a fair hearing. So the real thrust this week that I'd like us to consider is, have we given Jesus a fair hearing? Verse 51 in particular, really lean into that. That is going to be the main focus of the sermon this week in 2 parts. Number 1, he says, give Jesus a hearing and learn what Jesus does. So I want to spend some time, as we're a little over halfway through this series, to look back and consider, what is it in the first 7 chapters of John now that we have heard from Jesus? In a way, that's what's called like orthodoxy. It's the right belief. It's things we've heard Jesus teach about who he is. What is it that we've heard? What is it that we've learned about who Jesus is? And then what is it that we have seen in Jesus? What are we learning about what Jesus has done? And that would be something called orthopraxy, like right practice. So what is it that we have heard Jesus say, and what is it that we have seen Jesus do? I think it'd be a great pause for us in this series to go back and just review the things that we have heard Jesus say and the things that we have seen Jesus do. And the importance of the value for us to not just speak biblical truth, and not just memorize and learn facts and learn verses, but is it engaging our entire heart, mind, soul, and body? Are we practicing what it is that we preach? Are we living the things that we believe and know to be true? Is it consuming our life in such a way? And so I love Nicodemus's challenge here to the people then, and I want to do it together here in church this Sunday. He said in John 7, verse 51, we need to give him a hearing, and we need to look at what it was that he was doing. Again, my question is, have we given Jesus a fair hearing? That's a wonderful evangelistic question too, isn't it? Like, as we're talking to somebody, we can start arguing and fighting about who he is and who he said he is. Well, this preacher said this, and this person said that, and this YouTuber said this. Have you truly given Jesus a fair hearing? Have you read the scriptures for yourself? Have you really prayerfully considered what it was that Jesus was saying, what it was that he was doing? Really, it's the most important thing in the world. So that's what we want to do this week. Let me double check. I gave you all the scriptures. Yeah, so let me just review the scriptures real quick. John 7:40 to 53, Acts 17, verse 11, John 3, verses 1 to 21, that's about Nicodemus. And John 19, verse 39, also Nicodemus. All right, that's it for this week. God bless you guys this week. Looking forward to being with you this Sunday and in worship together. Let's be in prayer together for that time and come with eager expectation for what the Spirit of God is going to do in our midst together. Amen. God bless you guys this week.